you know I got something today. So I'm going to tell you ladies about this, and we have some callers on the line that we can actually, I want to be able to ask this question too. So the situation is, say you're friends with someone, right? And you guys have been friends for a long time. So typically speaking, this would be your girlfriend. If we're girls, it would be our girlfriend, our little BFFs. Okay. And you start to elevate in a certain area of your life.
Oh,
so
Lord, that's our life.
and so the time starts to drift away from you because you tend to get busy. You guys used to talk, maybe not every day, but quite often, right? Mm-hmm. Then suddenly you guys don't get an opportunity to speak as much. And then you realize your life is becoming busier because you're hitting certain successes and milestones. And you suddenly realize some significant time has gone by and you guys haven't talked at all. So I have a caller out there. Caller, who do we have on the line?
This is Steve.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
I'm fine.
Wonderful. So I know that this may be a little different for men. You know, bros, they act like they don't have little issues like this. This is only chick things. But to be honest with you, if that began to happen, what would you think?
That is jealous.
Oh, really? Really?
Well, who's jealous of who?
The person that's succeeding or
The friend?
I believe if I start succeeding and somebody is not reaching out to me after I start succeeding, they're jealous of my success.
Okay, so let me ask you this, but what if you're not reaching out either? What would you think? Would that be... Because what if time just got away from you? What would you do? Would you reach out to the person or would you just, assume that you guys are not going to talk even though y'all used to be close at one time?
Well, I definitely try to reach out.
Okay, you would try to reach out to them?
I would.
Oh, that's a great friend. And then if you reach out and you feel like they're not talking, then you'll assess that maybe there may be some jealousy going on.
Correct.
All right. So listen, I have some amazing guests in my studio. Right now we have Gwennetta Wright, yes, which I will be able to describe to them who you are momentarily. But, and then I'm sorry, what is your name? I want you to be able to tell our audience who you are as well.
My name is Catrice Simmons.
All right, Catrice Simmons. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you first, Gwennetta. What would you feel if you started to see that?
Well, you know what? That's actually my life.
Really?
I mean, it really, and even kind of with us, like the difference, like with us, is that first you got to know the definition of what really a friend is.
Amen.
Okay, to be able to assess that. Now, in my life, I've climbed or experienced a lot of success, and with her, she's my best friend. We've been friends since we was 5.
Oh, that's awesome.
What we did was we did it together, so I brought her along. But even in the midst of that, time do go by that we don't get to talk to each other because we do got different lives, we do different professions, and time do slip away. And sometimes, you be feeling a certain way, or whatever. You do feel a certain way because you be like, what's really going on, girl? You don't call me no more. What is you over there doing? You know what I'm saying? And it's vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But in some instances, it do be jealousy and envy with like other people that you really think that that's your friends. They do start to become, somewhat jealous or envy or think that you're better than them. Like with me, I have a bad habit of not following up or reaching out to people a lot because I'm so busy. Yeah. And so a lot of times that do get away from me. Me and her stay across the street from each other, and I might not talk to her all day. You know what I'm saying? Because we're just that busy. Yeah. But a lot of people take it real personal. Yeah. And you fall out with people because they think that you think that you better than them, or you think you're too good to be my friend now, or you just go through all those things.
Hey, Catrice, what's your take on it?
I think if you having feelings about things, you have to just build that relationship back up and talk about it.
Amen. Communication is so important, isn't it?
That's the essential thing, is the communication. Yes. Sometimes it's not the friendship, it's the situation that you're going through. Because we all have life. And life hit us, and sometimes you don't have control over the position you're in, the time that's getting between you, or anything like that. Life happens.
Let me tell you. So the reason I even brought this up, I tell her I'm always transparent about my life, and so I'm like you, and I want all of my true friends, because you can count them on one hand, if they are out there listening, which they better be. That I am horrible, okay, about follow through. And what I mean by that is over the years, I just have this notion that they know I love them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes that self-centeredness, which is not intentional, because I'm sure they know my heart, but unfortunately, to deal with me, my true friends have to recognize that I ain't gonna talk to Angela for months at a time, okay? So I had this particular person who was in my life, and we have shared so much, and I love her dearly, but I did realize that as I continued to elevate, things did get a lot busier for me. So even though we never talked to each other on a regular basis, it was always long term, but we had special things that we would do, like celebrate our birthdays because they're in the same month, or different things like that. And I started to get so inundated with what I was doing, I lost track of time. And then I'm under the assumption that because I've waited 6 months, when I call, you'll be ready and happy to hear from me because I've just thought about you. So with that being said, we had a mutual friend that passed away. And honestly, it was the same thing. She had kept in touch with the mutual friend. I hadn't seen her in years, but she hadn't seen her in a while and kept, contemplating, I got to call her, but time would get away from her. So when she sent the text message, because in between that time, I did try to reach out, but she had never responded back. So at that time, I kind of felt like, okay, she's not talking to me, So when we got on the phone and we talked, she was able to share to me that, she's been there for all of us. And then when she went through her time, I wasn't there. And that really hurt her. So, of course, she had to do a transitioning. As a mature person and understanding that, I feel like in friendships and in relationships, we have to assess ourselves.
All the time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't always be so quick to say, oh, well, it's her fault. So I told her in so many ways, she's absolutely right. And please to forgive me because it's not my heart. Even though, because what happened, I went into a situation that I've never done before. This was new to me. I had not been doing anything like this. So when your life starts to transform, sometimes you're just trying to get a grasp of how to handle it all. And it's not necessarily, for the friend. So with that being said, I just want to tell her I love her so much. And I am so glad. She knows who she is because, she's very private. So I can't bust her out. But she knows that she means the world to me. And when I tell you, it was so good talking to her that it made my whole day. And I was like, I promise I'm going to be a better friend. I'm like, I don't care if it's just once a month. I'm going to get there and I'm going to say hello and I'm going to reach out and do better. And I've been promising all of my true friends that, because I'm going to tell you, sisterhood is hard.
It's very hard.
It is hard. It is hard to have friends who you have grown up with, and then for whatever the reason, you guys are going in different directions, and those friends still love you regardless of your success. Because I've had the ones which I thought were friends, that have fallen by the wayside because, as long as they're ahead of you, they're fine. Yep. But if you could begin to elevate, they say, okay, I'm not fooling with her anymore, or she's this, and they try to put stuff out there. So for those true blue friends, I just want to say thank you, and know that I love you, and I thank all of my friends. Yet my producer has to, make it a point for me to say he's one of my dear friends. We've been in the game for a long time now, yes, and you have to have people that care about you, love you, and push you. Because sometimes we battle, but
that's us.
But if you didn't have someone that cared about you, you would not, be able to do that. And just to my bestest friend, my husband, Stephen, I just thank God for you, and he puts up with a lot. Even though everybody think I'm such a great wife.
But it's the sharing you.
It is, and it's so difficult, and he is such a trooper about everything. So to my best friend Stephen, I love you, and I thank you for all that you do. With that being
It's on
said,
camera.
is it? Okay, so I have told the world I love my man. You know he gonna love that. But with that being said, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get into what Miss Gwennetta Wright is here for, and we will be right back in just a few. You are listening to the Angela Foxworth Show right here on 108 Praise Radio, and we will be right back, like Chuck Willery says, in 2-2. See you in a few minutes.